Hey folks, we're at Dinosaur World at Cave City, Kentucky. We're going to see how accurate these are. Brown says it's a Ultrasaurus leg.
An Ultrasaurus, huh?
Yeah. 5-toed dinosaur. So that might have been one of the largest dinosaurs.
That was fairly accurate, isn't it?
Yeah. I see a giant chopped up hot dog with a head.
Stay behind the ropes.
Oh boy.
Is something going to get you?
Probably. Big-headed amphibians, aren't they?
Yeah. Is that how you would have pictured them?
Those got some elaborate patterns, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Those look like some Lystosaurus there.
You're correct. Lystosaurus.
Those are actually closer to mammals than dinosaurs.
Yeah, those came after the dinosaurs, didn't they?
No, I think those came like before like the early, like late Permian, early Triassic.
Okay.
Those are actually like synapsids.
Yeah. It's not true dinosaurs, but still very prehistoric.
Yeah. Here's your Dimetrodon. Nowadays, people believe that that one might have actually had its legs upright.
Oh, yeah?
And that one's also closer to mammals. Williamsternus. That's a complicated name. Okay. Yes, it's a relative of your Dilophosaurus.
So you're not familiar with that one?
I don't think I've heard that one before.
Wow.
Looks kind of weird, doesn't it?
It definitely looks weird.
Skeletosaurus.
What do you know about this one?
I know it's like from the early Triassic and it's armored. I think I've heard of that one before.
Well, it's cool they have some that you're not as familiar with. It's not often we find that.
Yeah.
What's your take on the design for it?
I mean, I don't think it would have been that deep blue, but of course it is also for kids. I do see the tail dragging on the ground.
Mm-hmm. That was a common misconception in the past,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Massospondylus. Small pebbles have been found with the remains of this plant eater. Looks like a primitive sauropod thing, doesn't it?
It does.
Coelophysis, that one was from the late Triassic period.
So Coelophysis, I've heard you talk about that one before.
Yeah.
So it's
That one was like 9 feet long when fully grown.
9 feet, huh?
I also remember when they used to believe that one of the specimens was actually a cannibal, and they thought it was babies in its belly. But then later research actually found that it was like more like crocodilomorphs that it ate.
Scutellosaurus. Do you know anything about those little guys?
I think that one was like really Jurassic or something like that, and it was also armored.
Mm-hmm.
And I see what appear to be some stegosaurs.
Yep.
Head's kinda shorter this time, isn't it?
Yeah, the more modern take on these has a slightly longer neck with a very small head.
I wonder if the sign talks about the extra brain it had, which they probably still believed back at that time. Of course, now scientists know better, but it used to be believed that like the hole in the joints or whatever before they found it was an nail sack or whatever it was like a place for more nervous stuff.
Nervous system?
Yeah. Heads were kind of fat, don't they?
Yeah, they got some big heads on these guys.
They got some warts on them too.
They do. Look at those. Some big old lumpy wart things on them.
Yeah.
So Dilophosaurus.
Yep, we've seen some of those on our 3-week trip. Maybe not the Dilophosaurus themselves, but we've seen the footprints, haven't we?
Yeah, Red Fleet State Park in Utah, they have a whole set of tracks of Dilophosaurs. So now you're getting a look at what may have made those prints. At least
some
the modern take.
Skinny necks, don't they?
Yeah. That is not your Jurassic Park Dilophosaur.
Nope.
But nobody said Jurassic Park was accurate either.
Yep, that was right. Ceratosaurus, the one of the horns on its face.
Related to the Allosaurus, huh?
Yeah. That one still had 4 claws on it.
Well, that's accurate.
That one's got a really skinny pelvic bone jutting out though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that was your classical dinosaur standing up posture.
So what is wrong with that, the old style there? You mentioned it's standing up posture, which is the way dinosaurs were depicted in artwork and in movies for decades. What is wrong with that?
Apparently when they stood up like that, that would have broke their backs basically.
Yeah. How would have they actually stood?
They would have stood like more like straight order. Not straight, but like
kind of like their neck, back, and tail all would have been kind of like parallel to the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been a much more natural state.
There's your Chasmosaurs. Those have some funky looking eyes, don't they?
Wow, yeah. They kind of got like sad puppy dog eyes.
Yeah, they do.
I like the family scene though. And then in the background, what do you have?
You got a Rex or something like that.
Looks like there's a Rex back there hunting these little guys, huh?
Yeah, and none of them are even noticing it.
Yeah.
Okay, one does. One.
Yeah, there's one off to the side there that's trying to keep it back. And you'll notice here, you got the big ones surrounding the little ones.
Yeah.
Big, and there's 2 behind it that's big too,
Yeah.
trying to protect their young.
Yeah, I've actually seen those depictions before in like dinosaur documentaries of them protecting their young like that so the predators can't get to them.
Yeah.
Yangosaurus. That one sounds like one of those in my Jurassic World Evolution game.
Ah. It's a primitive stegosaur, isn't it?
Yeah. One of the oldest known stegosaurs.
Well, we learned a lot about stegosaurs when we was in Colorado this summer.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah, Dinosaur Ridge we were at, that is where the first stegosaurus skeletons were discovered.
Yeah.
What do we have in front of us, Catfish?
What is it from the cohort? That one says it's Allosaurus.
I can't even get my camera.
Flobo, doesn't it? Not the flow, but the crest on the Allosaurus.
What is your take on this particular model? What have they done that you would correct?
First, it doesn't have the crest on its face like we seen at those places in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
The heads were kind of fat. The posture is also standing up.
Yeah, it would have a broke back also, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Tail dragging on the tail too. Like your kangaroo depictions.
Right. See, when I was a kid growing up, that there is your classic dinosaur pose. And it was completely inaccurate, huh?
Yeah. The icicles almost look like saliva, don't they?
It does. It's dripping saliva ice.
Yeah. There's quite a few of them here, aren't there?
Yeah, we are surrounded.
wonder what kind of dinosaur they were trying to hunt.
Well, apparently us.
Pachycephalosaurus. Looks like going on Untitled.
Yep. It's very similar to an Ankylosaurus, but it doesn't have the club on the back.
No. Probably a type of nodosaur then. You see what kind of look like iguanodon over there with the thumb claws.
Yep, dead ahead.
Yep.
What have we got here?
Gastonia. I've heard of those before, but those definitely look different than how they're depicted today, aren't they?
Yeah. Much more low to the ground.
Yeah.
It's a fairly recent discovery, so they may still be learning about them.
True.
All right, off to the left.
There's your iguanodon.
That it is.
I guessed it right too. At least it's not your very lizard ones. They're literally giant lizards just on the ground.
I think it's kind of interesting that the actual models here are fairly accurate, I think, right?
Yeah, those actually look more accurate than some of the other dinosaur models.
Yeah, they're fairly accurate.
Oh boy, I wonder what those are supposed to be. I'm gonna guess it's a Deinonychus. Yep. Really squashed in posture, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that.
No.
We've seen a lot of dinosaurs, a lot of documentaries, but I'm not familiar with
that appearance. They almost look like little big old goblins, don't they?
Yeah.
That's probably the dinosaur that they based the velociraptors in Jurassic Park after.
That would make sense.
Yeah. And I see some saltosaurs here. Those I've seen in a documentary.
Mm. Yeah.
40 feet from the tip of its snout to its tail. Doesn't look like that big, does it?
Not on these models.
No.
Well, it might be pretty close if you was to stretch them out.
Yeah, that's true. Those models actually look more size accurate.
Mm-hmm.
They all really low to the ground though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Kind of look like blue long-necked horses.
The water horse movie.
Yeah. These definitely look different than they do today. Nowadays those are actually depicted like more lower to the ground, and of course today they have also found like one specimen that actually had quills on the tail.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting.
Now, if you were to make models of all these dinosaurs we've been seeing, how would you make them different when it comes to quills or feathers?
I'd probably like over feather some of them, honestly.
There's one thing in the last couple of decades that has really come out in the dinosaur world is how many feathers they may have actually had.
Yeah, and people even argue over which ones did and didn't have feathers. Look how high up the eyes are on the baby. How low they are on the adult behind it.
Oh yeah, that's completely different, isn't it?
Yeah. Like really high up on the babies and low on the adults for some reason.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty accurate to have ice coming off of a mammoth, isn't it? All right, buddy, tell me what you think of this dinosaur.
His back's broken, isn't it? I also see a really jutting out pelvis on that one too, and a visible tail.
So yeah, that's your classic dinosaur pose, standing straight up,
Yep.
tail on the ground.
You could almost use the tail as a slide.
You could. There's a lot of them here, I'll be honest, that I don't recognize the names of. So I'm actually pretty happy that they've gotten a few that aren't just your same standard models all the time.
I've actually heard of this one before. It's like related to early Cretaceous, related to your Ankylosaurs and Nodosaurs. That one's actually from Australia, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There's your Carnotaurus.
Yeah, I thought they'd be bigger.
I think those are actually the height of a man from like Google images I've seen.
Oh yeah? So basically the movies always just make them bigger than what they really are.
Yeah, it was oversized in the Disney Dinosaur movie.
I see. Really got a pretty square head on them when you look at it straight on.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
They've got the classical horns on their faces, at least.
The eyeballs are practically right underneath those horns.
Yeah, they all aren't they? Styracosaurs, those have some funny looking horns on them, don't they? The nose horns don't look as long, do they?
No.
Of course, half of those aren't even fully grown, but the horns on them are definitely shorter and duller, aren't they? And they've got like no fur on them. Look at that baby. Looks like a little toad.
It does kind of in its position. It's a little toad right there.
Yeah.
With horns. What we got here?
Brachiosaurus. Haven't heard of that one.
It's a duckbill for sure.
Yeah. That one's from Canada, apparently. Kind of remind me of geese, though.
Yeah, I could see that. But geese are a type of dinosaur too.
Yeah. Pachycephalosaurus. That one's always hard to pronounce. I know that one, but the name is just so complicated.
So an ankylosaurid?
Yep. That one I recognize. That's also got a squashed in face, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's got like a snout, kind of like a cow.
Yeah, it does. Kind of has a Bowser body.
Bowser body, you're right.
There's your Oviraptors.
Nice. I always loved these guys. They would have had feathers in real life, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
There's one that is an obvious older depiction. It's the modern depiction of Oviraptors definitely has feathers.
Yeah.
Sandhill cranes flying above us.
Yeah. That one I think is in my Jurassic World Evolution.
You can tell by the name it is found in China.
Yeah. Giving it the nickname the Chinese unicorn.
Well, that makes sense. Chinese unicorn, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know if I'm even familiar with that one at all. It's a new one on me. Which is a good thing.
Yeah. Myosaur, those kind of look familiar.
Now look at the little one there and how it's squatting down.
Oh boy.
That's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah. I think he's constipated. he probably feels really good afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know.
That one was actually discovered with like a mother with her babies.
Yeah.
There's your Triceratops.
Classic Triceratops.
Yep.
So those are pretty accurate from my recollection.
Yeah. Those are kind of short and round, but other than that, they're not too bad.
Yep.
That one also looks like a toad, doesn't it?
Yeah, and those squat bodies like that. Looks like a toad.
Yeah. That's a really short tail. What's up with that?
It must be left over from its tadpole. What you got behind you?
Stegosaurus, those were related to a Pachycephalosaurus.
I see. I was gonna say they definitely look like a pachy, don't they? With the heads.
I've actually heard of these before.
Nice.
We've got some funky heads on both and some really skinny bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Deinonychus, that's a funky name.
Yeah, it is. I really like they got some oddball ones that I'm not that familiar with.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the Gallimimus from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That one's got some big ol' arms though, doesn't it?
Oh, look at the size of its front hand claws. They're like huge compared to its body.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing I noticed personally for the Spinos is how wide they have the skull.
Yeah, that's really wide.
Yeah, they would not have been, they might have been half that wide.
No.
But it depends on when these models were made, because they didn't really know much about these at all.
That too. That picture looks like the old style.
Oh, wow.
Spinosaurus.
Yeah, it does.
That one's funky.
Sylvosaurus. Most of these that I don't know are definitely in families of other things I am familiar with.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot of varied species that are new to me.
Yeah. Pachycephalosaurus.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's like argued with some people like believe that and Triceratops like interchangeable. That one's got leaves on its frill.
Yep, he's collected some leaves.
Yeah.
That is a huge neck.
Yeah. Although scientists suspect that this dinosaur may have been a large brachiosaurus, so that the fossils may be a combination of fossils from two different dinosaurs. Oh man.
At that size, they didn't need a whole lot of intelligence to protect themselves.
Probably not.
Walk along, eat the trees.
And stomp predators. Those are some really short legs though, aren't they?
Yeah, they would have been longer than that, especially since we've seen that leg bone up front.
Yeah.
These are, as big as these look, they're actually small compared to what it would have really been.
I think a lot of the models are undersized.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Pachycephalosaurus looks too big though. However, they do make it stand up instead of walking in that posture we think of.
Yeah, that's true. He's got the classic broke back.
Yeah.
He looks like he's like, come at me, bro. Yep, he's a Pachy, but he's a huge Pachy for their model.
Yeah.
It says it's one of the last dinosaurs to go extinct. That is a big head.
Yep. More accurate than the one on the side of the road, that's for sure.
Yeah, he actually looks like he's got the right stance.
I think they made this one more recently, probably.
Probably.
It's so broken, though.
He's got some broken wrists there, don't he?
Yeah. There's a baby right there. That's already got the horns on it, apparently. And a really big head.
Any thoughts on that T-Rex?
Looks more accurate, but I think his tail might be a little dislocated there. And something happened to his wrists.
Yeah, he's got some limp wrists.
Yeah.
Curved tail. Now, do you think the T-Rexes would have had feathers?
Probably. I know there's like scale impressions of it on the face and such, but I mean, you would have needed something to insulate yourself.
Yep.
There's your Pachycephalosaurus, which is like a really famous dinosaur.
Yeah, those long crests are always cool.
Yeah.
Ah.
This one says Dryptosaurus. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of this one. It was important in the Dinosaur Wars. Oh boy.
Yeah, we read about that at the Dinosaur Ridge in Colorado.
Yeah. Well, they would keep trying to find the most species. That one is interesting.
Yeah, we're actually learning some that we're not familiar with.
Yeah.
I really didn't expect that. Very nice. There's a lot going on
Oh,
here.
look at those funky guys. That one is apparently that's a stage mower.
Okay. I thought of him
Kind
as a
of
little bit
thought
taller.
that's what it kind of thought looked like one.
Yeah, he looks like a Stiggy. He's kind of stubby.
Yeah.
That's a stubby Stiggy.
And some weird horns.
Yeah.
Yep, those are Brachiosaurus. Thought that was what those were.
Definitely looks like brachies. You can tell by that head shape.
Yeah. And that says those are Velociraptor.
So velociraptors that are probably true to size. These I would call them.
Yeah.
And most people think of velociraptors now, you just think of the Jurassic Park version that's 6 feet tall. And
Yeah.
that is so not the case.
Of course,
6 feet
these also
long.
need feathers to at least a more size.
Yeah, size accurate, and that's probably about where it ends.
Their faces kind of look like crocodiles, don't they?
Yeah. I think that with a lot of dinosaurs, though. At least the way they're depicted.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. If you added feathers, it might not have that look, huh?
Yeah, those hands are also huge.
Yeah, hands are ginormous.
The statues at Dinosaur World were pretty cool. There was some inaccuracies, but those were like 200 years old.
Yeah, I was actually kind of impressed with Dinosaur World compared to what I expected.
Yeah.
I really thought there was just going to be a whole lot of the old style models, and they had a few of those, but they had a lot of modern ones as well, and also a lot of good, pretty up-to-date information posted along with them.
Yeah.
And they also had a lot more species than I expected, many of which I wasn't even familiar with. And then, of course, they had the nice little movie room where you could watch a BBC documentary,
Yep.
and a cool little dinosaur museum with a lot of fossils.
And a thing where you touch and guess which dinosaur model is inside.
It's definitely a place that is aimed for younger kids who are budding paleontologists and just love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so I was actually kind of impressed compared to what I expected. We really thought we was going to come here and get a good laugh out of it, and it was not half bad, huh, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd give it a thumbs up. How about you?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Till next time.
Peace out.